Welcome, everybody. It's my great pleasure to see you again today. And it's wonderful to present my favorite, I have to say it, Mario, you know it already, my favorite biodiversity to all those biodiversity consultants that we work with. You know, I love you all. It's biodiversity. I love nature. It's all good. But Mario is really a special person in our network. We work together for several years already, and he specialized in natural capital management and ecosystem consultations, providing services to businesses, to municipalities, and taking care also of natural capital areas or natural capital, how we call the session also today, in cities in Portugal. So it's really a wealth of experience that Mario is bringing to the session today. For those of you that are watching now, the stream on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, or you're watching the replay, you know, drop in the comments if you would have any questions to Mario or the report, because he will have some interesting information to share with us today. Let us know how we can help and add value to, you know, what you want or what is interesting in this segment for you, whether it's a business or it's a city. With this, I would just quickly share, biodiversity, ecosystem services, natural capital. These are all your topics where you're specialized, where you help also farms, agricultural production sites and facilities to kind of, you know, embed and include biodiversity and planning. To really have a thriving and a viable business in the future. So with this, I would hand over to you. If I'm not mistaken, Mario, we have a shorter presentation, like a little intro on the topic. And I hope to have also a chance to give you some questions around the topic today.
Yes.
Stage is yours, please. Rock it, as always.
Okay. Thank you, Jana, for your good presentation and for your kindest words. So I will try to resume all I have to say. I speak a lot, like you know. So I will try to be fast. So I will talk today about biodiversity and natural capital management in cities, and try to give the value of incorporating the nature in the urban infrastructure for itself in the planning action. So and starting, but Jan introduced myself. I am an ecosystem manager. My education is about biology, and I work in an ecosystem landscape. So not in a particular area, but in all the ecosystem system. So, and I will give you lots of words here. You can stop then and read it. So it's just for you, the text. But the main challenge of planning cities, sometimes I think it starts with the wrong idea. People usually think about nature in city, but I think we think in the wrong way. I think the cities are in the nature. It's true that we have huge cities, but you can't forget that we build it in the nature. So we still in the nature. So we need it for this challenge. And the challenge is meeting the needs of growing the urban populations, and facing now, we are seeing this every day, the climate change and the environmental degradation. So cities, we live, half of our population live in cities. So the cities are the place where we have to improve the ecosystem services to our well-being, of course, but also to make the cities and the environment more suitable to these huge and rapid changes of the climate. So the cities around the world have to embrace the responsibility for people's well-being and also for the environment. So,
Mario, may I just quickly jump in? Are you sharing like more slides, because we see the first page of the presentation still? So
yes, I'm sharing.
So if you like to maybe switch the slide, or that we have the right screen on.
I'm switching now.
Hmm.
It's not switching.
Hmm. Can we maybe reshare it once again, that we have the,
Yes, yes,
it's
yes.
now you are, now we see that. And maybe
Oh,
one
oh,
more,
okay,
maybe
okay,
one more.
okay. And again, it's switching.
Either there is a delay. Let's try again on the page number
And
3.
it's better
Yes.
that way. I can share it that way.
Is it? It's better. It's better because we see
Okay,
it.
okay, okay, okay. The text will be shorter, but okay. Uh,
Good.
so, like I said, the challenge it's the cities around the world embrace the responsibility for people well-being and also for the environment. So, and I picked this sentence for resuming what makes cities sustainable and how can we. I call it NBI. NBI it's the natural urban infrastructure, and how we do it. We have to build economic, social, and environmental resilience, including appropriate governance and institutional structures must be at the heart of the future of cities. So we have to. Sometimes when people get talk about people like me that work in the ecosystems or with biology or environment, they call it. They think we are that guys that we are very extreme. I'm not, because I believe that we will consume always. We are buying some shirts, we are going to buy food, we are always to be a consumer. So we have to build better ways or more sustainable ways to consume. So we will not stop to consume the things, but we have to change to choose. We have the opportunity to choose the good ways or the best ways or best practices to consume. And how cities start to incorporate or to think about this urban infrastructure. I like this way of thinking. It's the 15-minute city, and some cities like Paris are thinking about a city of everything. It's about 15 minutes from your home. So with this goal, the urban planning think a faster way and a way to reduce your transportation needs, the needs of using green spaces long of far away from your home. So they think the city for 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, you have to get the hospital, you have to get your school, you have to get your job, your green areas, everything about 15 minutes. Melbourne, it's another city that is thinking the city like this. So how we can contribute with the natural urban infrastructure to sustainable cities. One of the biggest problems it's the flood protection. So we have the gray infrastructure, so the buildings. This is called in option 1 here the seawall, but we have the option 2, the nature basin infrastructure, and this option will uh, have more benefits, of course, than building a wall. But we have the biodiversity itself, we have the water nutrition cycles, we have the wood that we can have in the forest that we can have, the local income and recreation, like the kids and people have can relax in the green areas. We have the fish reproduction also. We have the ponds, we have the rivers, we have the streams, so you can do it. Of course, something that we are talking everywhere, the carbon issue, the carbon sequestration in these places. So we have some different places in the city that we can improve the nature urban infrastructure, NBI. So you have the green spaces for itself. The outcomes, it's a lot of incomes and some services that nature gives us. You have the property values for itself. So well managed field will value. For instance, we are talking about selling that property for instance, for building. It can be, but the property with a lot of ecosystem services will value more than a place that just have some weeds, because the property will value more. So we are valuing the nature and the ecosystem services for itself. A place with a view will value more, so the property will value more. Well, we have the physical and mental health for itself. Again, the natural parks or the green parks in the city will give you this kind of service. Of course, we have the biodiversity. We have habitats for different birds, mammals, different animals, for it, insects that can control some plagues, or the biodiversity like plants or different kind of trees. We have the water retention and again the carbon. What decrease with the urban green spaces? The heat. We have some famous pictures seeing a road with trees and a road without trees inside the cities, and you see the temperatures are very low with the trees, and with the trees, without the trees we have huge temperatures. And also we have these green spaces can filter, can do a filter of the pollution, sounds. They can filter lots of things, and also they can filter our highs, because if you have in the city an industrialized area, you can filter that view with green spaces also. And there is starting to be talked about these tiny forests in urban areas. Here in Portugal, we are starting to do some these tiny forests. This is a very tiny. It's called a Miyawaki forest. It's very small, but it's very dense, and you can integrate and planting with the kids, with the locals, and then we are putting in that small places a lots of vegetation from shrubs, all the layers of the forest in a small area. We will increase in that areas the biodiversity, and also it's a social importance also to the population. But these small and tiny forests are raising in Europe. It's Asian and Japanese way of think. When I see these tiny forests, I think about the bonsai. The bonsais are a tiny tree. I think the idea is caring about not the tree, but these kind of trees. We have the famous green roofs, and all the outcomes that we can do in investing in this. Again, we have the reducing of the heat of the building, and you have the reducing of the exposure to the building. But you can plant some vegetables to incorporate in your feeding, so you have the water that you can reuse in your production. You can also higher the property value, so you have the carbon sequestration. Again, it's always the same of the about the green spaces. Other structures that we have in the cities, we have the stormwater infrastructures. They again decrease the exposure of it and the air pollution. But here we have people likes water. I work now in a park, in an urban park, and we have a lake. And last week we start to building a biological lake, like a pond, and people when sea water goes there, so they are stay always near the water. So this kind of stormwater infrastructures what increase the recreation. Also it can filters the water. Again, property values, because you have the view, you have the landscape, it's getting greener and more integrated. So to have again the water retention and again the carbon. The wetlands and lakes, like I'm talking about here in the park where I work, we have also the increasing of biodiversity, because we are going to increase the dragonflies, the butterflies, the frogs in that place, and also that the vegetation and also these all the biodiversity and animals will increase the water quality. And this is an example of what I'm talking about. A green pond or a constructed green pond. It's like this inside of the cities. This is near a mall, but we have highlands with some shrubs and this kind of vegetation. And the other one that we can see that it's in the floor of the lake will filter the water. So sometimes people get scary because, whoa, we will have water with no recycling, with no pumping. Yes, because the vegetation will do the work. And we can also think the cities for the bees. We have the hotels for the insects. We have these tribes that we can do near your green areas. You also have these areas here that you can put near your houses or near your jobs, the building where you work. In the balconies, you can do a lot of things for the pollinators also. Not for the bees, but all the pollinators, the butterflies, also the birds, to all the pollinators that do this important ecosystem service. This year, here in Barreiro, in Portugal, we did in the day of the forest, the autochthonous forest. We gave to the schools some seeds to the kids at home, putting their balconies with the flowers to improve the small habitats for the bees. So how we will incorporate these when we are planning the urban areas? So for start, we have to engage all the stakeholders, all the municipality, people that lives here, who can, for instance, who can lend the money for this kind of jobs, and integrate these in a way of cost benefit analysis. When we are in the city, we think about the water systems, the roads. We think about in the Excel sheet, we put a lot of numbers, but sometimes we don't put the value of nature on this Excel. So we have to integrate it in this kind of counting the values. So you have to also to coordinate also with the levels of government here in local and also with the higher government. So strategic, we have to have everything thinking, because we have not just about biodiversity, but we have the transports, the health, water management, and also the climate. But also always this is regarding to natural capital and with the biodiversity for itself. So the conclusion and the key messages, it's about the urban development should be and has to be with the drivers of biodiversity, thinking about the biodiversity loss. um, we need we need these kind of infrastructures to live, to breed, to play, to learn. Sometimes in the urban parks, we receive the schools for they have the different experience to get out of the school and learn with the nature. Sometimes the same things they learn in the school, but in local, so in the place where the nature is. So I think it's important, building with nature, but not building without nature. Thinking always that we are in the nature and not the city and not the nature in the cities. And so we have to provide and get more value to the cities. So these natural based infrastructures generates a well-being infrastructures and give us for us co benefits. So we will increase biodiversity, we will reduce the air pollution, improve our well-being, and I think it's in 30 minutes. I think this is the conclusion that I can make
Mhm.
to you. This presentation, it's based in a report that I will give to Yana to share with you,
Mhm.
and I think this is the, 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 the best abstract that I can do to this
Wonderful.
huge to this huge theme.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Mario, for this quick wrap up and also for sharing the insights. And I really appreciate how you put it. I mean, you put a lot of the natural elements like ponds, like parks, etc., or some remains of what we kind of occupy as a place in nature. And you combine it with green roofs, the green walls, the new elements, the shelters, the micro spaces that are being created or are just being included. Also Miyawaki forests, I mean, I completely agree, a very interesting trend that we see. I'm glad to bring it up because it's also something where we see, okay, this is something where also the ecosystem service consultants recognize as, yes, it's an approved, it's not like something we're going to test it out, it works, it's very efficient. You have very good data that the forests are, after 3 years of basic maintenance, kind of self-sufficient, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
And they are very dense, is what you mentioned, so the benefits are quite interesting. Now I have a fire round for you of questions for the coming 10 minutes where you have maybe I'm not so good at math, so like let's put it like 60 seconds per question as
Okay.
an answer,
I'll
and
try.
let's try the best. So um when talking about cities, this was all the infrastructure that we have in the cities. And also, according to what you listed many times, there was only the arrows up. It increases life quality, you save, we have the heat waves, you have water, you have all sorts of stuff. Why is it a challenge still to kind of, or is it a challenge? Is it better now? Is the mood kind of, or the approach towards this greening of the cities, putting this green filter on the cities, is it now getting better from your experience?
Um, sometimes I think it's the difficulty here. It's who is in charge if it believe it. So
Mhm.
I think it's the problem. But people are starting to believe, because this is not what we say about it. It's nothing new. I think it's nothing. We have a lots of data. So
Hmm.
maybe 10, 20 years ago, when we are starting to talk about this, maybe we can do the aspect of we are crazy. So, but right now, with so many data, with so many cities doing this, I think there is no doubt that results and that has positive incomes. But sometimes when you are in a municipality, or you are in the government, or that we have the the, the best ways to do it, sometimes we will have in your trail some people that don't believe it. So sometimes
Hmm.
we have the rock in your shoe. But we have some financing from Europe regarding this. We have
Hmm.
some income. Yes, and we have to talk about money. When we talk about money, people understand, or starting to understand.
Good.
If the
Good.
city receives money about it, so that
Hmm.
guy don't believes it, they says, okay, go through, because we will receive money. I think, and I hope in the future we don't think like that. So
Hmm.
okay, we'll do it because we will have a better well-being. uh,
Yes.
so
Yes.
not just about money. In the end, we will have more economical sustainability because we have green infrastructures. But it's not sometimes it's not easy to explain this.
Hmm. So it's a very good point just to reflect on that for a few minutes. That still, I mean, you said belief, but as well in the following sentence we have a lot of data. So in the meanwhile, you have images, you have measurement. It's without an end. To basically gather the data, it's not a problem, and just to really get the understanding and get the kind of okay, let's go, let's do it, because every change is uncomfortable, even though it's maybe sometimes for a good reason or for a good better result even. So I would just kind of pinpoint that we love nature, we believe in many things, but we have data for sustainability just being proven, bringing effective results. When we talk about heat island effects, just planting or having trees as a element. Even statistics that compare artificial elements versus trees that are planted in urban areas. Trees have a better performance as a just artificial shelter that you have as a roof, just to provide some shading. So just to reflect on that, when we talk on or about green and blue infrastructure, because you had them beautifully embedded, included in both elements. Is there any priors to be said, or is it you cannot disconnect them? It's coming together.
Yes, it should come together.
Good.
You don't like to manage the landscape. You have to see the whole picture, not just a part of it. Sometimes I think the management. I work also with agriculture, so
Mhm.
I think agriculture is a good example, because the producers usually think about the production area. They don't think about the forest that have around. But the most important area for the producer, it's the buffer areas. So this is a good example, because we have to see everything. So we have to think and manage uh, with the whole picture. So
Mhm.
not just a part of it.
Okay. Now, we titled this session today Natural Capital. Many people don't like it. Why? Why is it called natural capital? Is it really like an investment in our future, or what's the kind of wording that you like to use when, kind of presenting your solutions and making it understandable to people what it is, what they have around, for example, as a vineyard, that where they have this production basis in nature, part of the ecosystem.
Natural capital, if it's just a sentence, because if you can talk about natural capital, it's biodiversity for per se. So and natural capital, it's the animals, it's the flora, it's this, but we have to adapt along the years the language. So we have to speak different languages. So if you go to the university, you speak about biodiversity and ecosystems. If you go to someone that wants to spend money or to not spend money, we have to talk about the like a banker. So you have to talk about natural capital. So, but I don't see anything wrong with that, because we have to get and achieve the main goals. So, and when we are talking about a bank, like a bank system, I don't think this is a bad idea, because when you ask for a loan, you can have a better or a worst loan money if your project is more sustainable or not. So if your project is more sustainability, about sustainability, your bank will give you more money with a less percentage.
Interest. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Better conditions. Yeah, yeah.
If you are going to open a oil or a fuel production, you will pay a lot of it. So I think talking about natural capital, I think it's a way to understand and to explain what is biodiversity and ecosystems. I think it's just a language question. No,
Got you.
it's always about the landscape and the biodiversity.
Now, I mean, that was really like, like in volleyball, you have this match, when you throw up the ball and then, the other one comes and says, wow, now this is great. So we talk about capital. What about biodiversity credits? I mean, what's your perspective on that?
Uh,
In short.
okay, this is a 3 hour conversation, but about the credits, we have also the credits for pollution. For example, it didn't work well, in my view, but we can learn about what working bad with the pollution credits and the carbon credits or whatever. I think that there is ways the good ways to do it, but always, and there is a good way to do it. It can be doable. I think, and I think about my country, Portugal. We have some natural parks, we have natural areas, and we have the other places that are like a bomb started there, and everything goes around. So I don't see a problem, or real problem, of damaging what is damaged, but the promoter can pay money to apply in the good places, like a credit. I don't see a real problem on it, but it's can be dangerous. This idea, it has to be very well think it, because so we all destroy everything because we are paying in another place. It's can be dangerous.
Okay. Now, we talked a lot about cities today. We talked a little bit about business, but you work a lot with businesses.
Yes.
What's the perception of a business now? Maybe an agricultural production facility or site or company, or any other, I don't know, supermarkets or whatever that have some kind of exchange. What is their perception of biodiversity? Of, yeah, let's do something, and what are the perspectives that can help them to understand this as a valuable element for their maybe supply or product line? Mario, I hope you are there. Seem
Yes,
to, yes,
I'm here.
because yeah, the video was a little bit like delayed. Sorry for that.
Okay, I think the seed of the biodiversity and this idea of not hurting our ecosystems will starting to spread. Of course, the producers are in the point, or they are in the front of the run because they are in the nature, so they earn money with nature, so they just are the first to to have the benefits of doing well. Uh, you talk about supermarkets, and supermarkets have two sides, because you have the seller and you have the consumer, and the consumer has the, the highest responsibility, because if you buy, you can buy the good one or the bad one, so you have to choose. You have the and this is an economical idea. The consumer gets the market. So if you plant the seed of the ecosystem and sustainability to the consumers, they will consume that kind of products. And this is the laws of the economics. So if you go there, the producers will go there, and the supermarkets go there. So i think I think it's starting. It's not in the fast forward speed, but I think
Mhm.
it's starting.
And when we have now this quantification discussion or part of the discussion, is there any magical formula? Maybe it's not magical, maybe it's just very straightforward, where you like literally can scribble down like X amount of water, X amount of square meters of trees that you're kind of losing or maybe not taking care of, maybe they are not as productive as, and that you can quantify the impact for a business just to show them, hey, this is the number that you are losing with not investing into your around surroundment, into your environment. That is the production base for you. Is there anything that you utilize for your projects, or is it like too far fetched, maybe to abstract for nature?
No, I think it's not a formula, because one case, it's one case. It's always different, because you
Hmm.
have a lots of things to play. It's not a formula, but you can do the mapping of the ecosystem services, for instance,
Hmm.
in a city or in a farm, and we can see. You can do like the environmental impact assessment. We can do a map of risk. So where is the risk? It's where the ecosystem services are low. So it's in that places that we have to invest the money of the city or the farmer. So it's that places that we have to improve. You don't will start to spend money where the places are good. You are trying to maintain that places and to improve and regenerate and do some regeneration to that places to improve biodiversity, ecosystem services, and natural capital also.
Hmm. Great, great, great. So thank you so much for sharing this. And last question for the round today, and we slightly over delivered, 8 minutes overdue. Hope you forgive us and enjoy this information and the session with Mario today. And of course, we need to tell, I mean, what is happening for you, if you have any, because you help also municipalities in training, expanding the knowledge, getting it out there, knowing, what are the approaches. So I will come to that, regarding the programs that you are having, or if there is anything upcoming. So please prepare for this. But the
Okay.
last question for you today would be, we have this recent release of European restoration law, which was finally approved. What is what does it mean for you, for business and cities? What is it? that you would like to share with them on that?
I think that's the way. That's the way. Um, I think it will resume it. I think it's the way for everyone. I think the regeneration is the word. So you don't have to do anything from the scratch. I think we have to regenerate and give the nature the way and the space to do that regeneration. So I think this law will help farmers, municipalities, everything to go in the right way. I think it's a huge step.
Super, super. Thank you so much. And now, what is happening for you? I mean, in terms of any program, any workshops that you're, because you do this on a regular base. I mean, what is the next step coming? Where can people find you, get more information, potentially maybe develop a project with you or reach out to you? Of
Okay.
course, Frogeex, we know that.
Yes, yes.
But what?
Starting with Frogeex, you can find me on LinkedIn
Mhm.
easily. So I will sharing sometimes what I'm going to do, the projects that I'm involved. I work in a municipality, but I work sometimes with other municipalities or with some companies regarding to agriculture mainly.
Mhm.
Mostly with wine production, because we have here in Portugal a program about the sustainability of the wines. So the producers are always looking for consultants about this theme. But in the middle with these producers, sometimes I do some production of media, or photos or videos drawn to their social media pages. Sometimes I wrote also the posts, but I think in a small sentence, I think I help municipalities and hotels and farmers to do this a better way, to do these to do the things. uh, it's a win-win, because the client earns more money sometimes with the for instance, with a higher price in the wine, because it's a biological, or it's from a place where we have regardings with the environment, or sometimes with the municipalities, because you are earning money, because you are spending less money in the floods, with some natural plagues that we have in the cities, that we are controlling with also with the biodiversity, and also the environment with these kind of measures. So in every place. So it
Mhm.
can be a farm, it can be a municipality, it can be a golf course, it can be everything.
Mhm.
We can improve the landscape and the ecosystems in one place.
Mhm. So, what we will share with you also after this call is a link to our previous discussion, which we had with Mario on soundscape, also a very interesting
Hmm.
concept for hotels and connected to biodiversity. So, definitely recommend that. And there will be, I'm sure, because I know it from under the shelf, or just in preparation, that there will be some courses on biodiversity and
Of
planning,
course, yes.
urban planning, green infrastructure, nature-based development, and what you have in cities, also together with Mario. So definitely watch out for more on that ones. We will share more details on this. So with this, I would say thank you so much, Mr. Mario Carmo, for your time today, for the amazing session.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, Yana.
welcome, very welcome. My name is Jana Skokam. I'm the co-founder of Frogeex, wherever the logo is. And yeah, see you on the next one when we talk again about sustainable building and living. Thank you.
Thank you, Yana.